Alright guys, just make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Yep, that should be fine. All it is I recently brought to attention on Facebook about, I'm not saying it's a technique that I've discovered because it's certainly not, but I've been playing with electron machines for, well, a very long time, and I'm electron through and through, and it's something I've only just discovered, which just goes to show that you might be using these machines and you might be missing out on little things. And all it is how to get more LFOs on these machines. Obviously, we've got two built into each track, so today I'm using the Digitone as an example, and I'm going to be getting more LFOs out of it with the DIGITAKT. I've already set it up because it's a bit of a messing around process. So obviously, it does involve a little bit of messing about, but it is very rewarding. And so obviously, it's all to do with the MIDI CCs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I set it up. So first of all, you're going to go to your MIDI config. I do apologise if this screen is a little bit glary and stuff like that. I've tried my best to reduce it, but it's just a pain in the ass where it is in the house. So you go to sync, and for this example, you can let's have everything synced. So you want to make sure if you're sending MIDI from your DIGITAKT to your Digitone, that you're receiving clock and transport. So we'll go back from that port config. You want to make sure that you're receiving, you've got your inputs from your MIDI, etc., MIDI and USB, and then you're going to untick receive notes because we're not going to be receiving notes. And then you've got to make sure that you receive CC/NRPN. You want that on. Channels, make sure you've got channel 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4. MIDI channels, they don't really matter. And yeah, so you're good to go. Right, so basically what I've done here is I've wrote down 3 different MIDI CCs. The MIDI CCs allow parameters to be controlled from a different device via MIDI. So what I've done here is I've took down 3 from online. If you're familiar with the Digitone, it's an FM synth, so you've got different levels of the modulators. And on here, I don't know if you can see, I'm moving a little bit closer. You can see my levels at the minute are going up and down on their own, and that is because there is a free running LFO on them coming from the DIGITAKT. And we've also got the same on the harmonics. See that move in a minute. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so we've also got the same on that. So I've got free running LFOs on that, and I haven't touched any of the LFOs. These are all on track 1, by the way, on the Digitone, as you can see. So there's 2 spare LFOs there as well. Right, so how I did it. So basically, we'll head over to the MIDI channel on the DIGITAKT, and we're going to put in on this, we're going to go to MIDI channel 1 because that's what we're set to. Channel 1 is controlling track 1, and then what I've done here is I've got my MIDI CCs here. So A level, I put that in at 78. Now what you would do to do that is just hold down function, press on the encoder, and then change this here to 78. And then you would activate the encoder by holding down function, clicking the encoder. I've done the same on 10, same channel, different. Obviously we've done B level, so I did 82 here on this one. I'll do it just to show you now. So there you go, click down, scroll through, 82. And the third one, we've got 17, which is the harmonics, which are being controlled. So yeah, that should still be being controlled, yes. So in turn, what it gives us, I've put a little, all I've done is activated a step, and I've held it for 16. And now what you should hear actually needed to trigger them then. I know that sounds absolutely horrendous, but this isn't a sound design tutorial. So basically, we could then head over and go, right, so we want these first two faster. Oh, sorry, no, I've gone to the depth there. So speed them up. So now that's three it's three LFOs controlling parameters on track 1 here, and then obviously you could have. So what gets interesting is you go to the fourth one, and you could say, right, okay, so you go to MIDI channel again. You could do one, pick your MIDI CC. You could, I don't know, control the filter on track 1, and you could have that going as well. So you could have 8 of these running, and then you've got your 2 on the Digitone per track. So that's 10 LFOs. So obviously it gets insane really quickly, which is brilliant, because if Digitone was lacking anything, if Elektron in general was lacking anything, it's LFOs for me personally. I really enjoy playing with them. Things can get really strange really fast. You could also, for random generative stuff, you could have you could still have sample and hold, but what you would need to do is obviously, because the sample and hold needs triggering. So we've changed this one here, which was the synth B level, to a sample and hold, random sample and hold. You would just need to sequence that, so that would need triggering. So you get the point. I mean, you can go wild with that. You could have, imagine having 10 LFOs running on Digitone sound. It's insane. Yeah, and in case you're wondering, guys, I'm triggering this off the DIGITAKT. So I'm going DIGITAKT into DIGITAKT, DIGITAKT into Digitone. Yeah, and obviously I know it sounds horrendous. It's just literally to show you how to do it. I've heard people say, let's stick a bit of reverb on that, that'll sound nice. No, it doesn't at all. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be having a play with this, and I'm going to be creating some like generative sort of patches out of this, because I'm really excited to have discovered it. And like I said, I didn't discover it. It's, you know, it's been able to be done for a while. So if you knew about it, then perks to you, because I didn't know about it, and now I do. I'm going to have some serious fun with it. Just thinking if there's anything I've missed off before I go. Like I said, obviously, you know, sample and holds, sequencing, sequence it, because you'll be putting it in, you'll be going, well, why isn't it doing anything? Because it's not being triggered by anything. But obviously in an ambient sort of thing, you could slow it right down, and then you could like 8th this sequencer, so it'd just go mega slow and change mega slow. So it's really interesting, you know, having that many LFOs at that many different speeds, and it's just getting insane. And then obviously you got to remember as well, you could modulate LFOs, speeds and stuff. It's brilliant. So yeah, check it out and go wild. I just wanted to do this, show you how it's done. Yeah, 10 LFOs, not bad. Cheers, guys.